The reigning champ of Glory, an MMO with over 130 million players, retires from the competitive esports scene after being replaced. No longer Excellent Era's team captain, he starts from scratch as the newest server goes live. While working as a night manager at an internet cafe, he plays an unspecialized character, Lord Grimm. As he levels, he unwittingly begins forming a team of his own while clashing with quite a few of the server's major guilds along the way. After his grace period, he plans to enter the pro leagues again, this time of his own accord under the team name Happy, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Lord Grimm watches from a window as more players are recruited to his new 10th server guild, Happy. Steamed Bun loudly calls out in the streets to anyone who will listen as Mu Sheng and Tang ask Grimm how he thinks the dungeon run will go that night. He isn't worried. He invited some new friends along. Leaders from 3 of the top guilds, Tyranny, Herb Garden, and Blue Brook, meet in a tavern to discuss ways to slow Happy's influx of new members. They can't openly attack the guild, but they can stop it from leveling up. If they sabotage their Guardian Demon run, it's a surefire way to hinder the guild's progress. All they need is a couple of spies. 15 should do the trick, especially in a 20-person dungeon. Grimm's team is too good. His instructions make it impossible to mess up. As soon as anyone makes a random move, Grimm instantly kicks them out of the guild. Maybe 15 spies weren't enough after all. After defeating the boss, Grimm thanks them. They couldn't have done it without the help of so many high-level players. Of course, he knew the whole time. He offers them spots in the guild, but only one player stays, Peerless Looks. Blue River blows his own cover after Grimm asks him which guild he's from. Grimm announces in the guild chat that if any newcomers have questions, they should message Peerless Looks. Blue River reveals to the other guilds that the leader of Happy is none other than the previous captain of Excellent Era, Yi Chu. All Accomplished already knew and left Blue Brook to join Happy. He kill steals and is an all-around disliked player, which is the perfect excuse to attack him and Happy in the open. At Thousand Waves Lake, the other guilds lie in wait. They have eyes on All Accomplished, but can't see any of the other members of Happy until they enter the water, getting pulled underwater by Grimm & Co. hiding beneath the surface. They've acquired a skill to increase their time underwater, which most players disregard as useless. It's an all-out underwater war, Happy versus the top 3 guilds. They're no match and begin retreating, swimming through the floating corpses of their comrades as they disappear. Back at Excellent Era's HQ, they learn that Yi Chu has returned to glory as Lord Grimm. The enemy players begin respawning at Thousand Waves Lake. The guilds are pissed about Happy always ambushing them. Blue River tells the other guilds that there's nothing to gain from senselessly attacking Happy's guild members. They can't beat Grimm on the 10th server, so they should wait until he tries entering the Heavenly Domain, since he'll only be level 50 as an unspecialized, instead of level 70. They ask Lord Grimm for a ceasefire, and he makes them choose between giving them the lake or a laundry list of materials. Blue River suggests the guilds pool resources and choose the list. Tyranny is on board, but the others still hold a grudge. Grimm talks to Blue River, using him to spy on the other guilds. He admits that some of them still want to fight for the lake. He tells Grimm to give up. They have the advantage of numbers. After a quick message in the pros group chat, Grimm calls his bluff, asking for more info the next time they meet, flustering Blue River, who is adamant that he isn't a spy. The guilds turn on each other after suspecting there's a snitch in their midst. When Grimm steps in and wipes them, they finally admit defeat. The other guilds fork over the materials, while he tries to conscript players who manage to stay alive during the assault. Guo looks for Yi Shu as he walks through the doors of Happy Internet Cafe, surprised to see him wearing a suit. He asks to speak with Yi Chu. It turns out they're twins. Shu used his brother's name while playing as a pro. Chu begs him to come home for the spring festival, but he refuses, telling him he'll come back when he's done with professional esports. He only has a few good years left. The Glory Pro League is holding their New Year competition. It's Tyranny versus Excellent Era, who has the upper hand in a 3 versus 2 matchup, but they're quickly defeated, again. Under Sun's leadership, they're uncoordinated and only getting worse. When Lord Grimm reaches level 50, he's ready to take on the Heavenly Domain, a public zone with more challenging bosses and a high PvP drop rate. It's the endgame area. To get in, there are 2 requirements: completing the quest and arena challenges. This should be a breeze for the guy who pretty much wrote Glory's handbook. He was going to wait for the others on the 10th server to catch up when a player from the 8th server challenges him, reminding him that he can challenge players from any server now. It looks like he forgot to add that to the handbook. At Excellent Era's HQ, they hold a meeting about Yi Chu and Happy's achievements. The possibility of him starting a new team infuriates Manager Cui, catching the whole boardroom off guard with his outburst. If he's starting a team, they need to be prepared. In the Heavenly Domain, Yi and Guo get approached by Lolan Slash and his guild, Heavenly Justice. Impressed with his achievements, Lolan asks if he has a main account. Grimm admits he used to have one on the first server. Account name: One Autumn Leaf. The rest of the guild members recognize the name instantly, but when they try to recruit him, Guo steps in and claims to be his new team's boss. Heavenly Justice discusses the possibility of using Yi Chu in a publicity stunt to stir up excitement for their own team, who's trying to get into the professional league. But why aren't the other teams doing the same? They think Guo is bluffing about having signed him already, something she feels guilty about. Yi dispels her concerns, as they've already resolved to start their own team. Excellent Era attempts to gank him with alt accounts, but he tricks them into thinking Guo is Mu Sheng, who happens to walk by the room. They figure it was Yi Chu controlling the launcher, just like he did on the 10th server. Lord Grimm invites Heavenly Justice to meet him and offers to join their guild so they can use his status in the esports scene to help promote their team. Since they're beginning to seriously think about starting their own team, Guo sets up a room in the cafe. Yi jokes that she's getting a bargain by paying a professional player the salary of a night manager. Lolan Slash decides to accept Grimm's offer and wants to see if he can beat his guild members, which Grimm does with ease, all at the same time. They admit that they're just a group of friends in real life, and the gap between them and the pros is too large. But Grimm reassures them that it's all right for a team just starting out. Excellent Era is furious when rumors of Yi Chu joining Heavenly Justice and starting a new team are publicized, calling for an emergency meeting immediately. The pro players group chat goes crazy over the news, and Xiao Shen tries to spam him, getting bent out of shape when he responds and challenges him to an arena battle, giving the password to the entire group chat, who all log on to watch the Sword Saint face off against Lord Grimm. Heavenly Justice is blown away by how many professional players suddenly show up to watch, but before they fight, Grimm tells him to face off against Lolan Slash. Xiao Shen surprises him by creating 6 shadows using Shadow Step. He barely defends himself, and his ears. Xiao Shen is as loud and annoying as ever over voice chat, yelling out moves while using completely different ones. Egging Lolan on causes him to find his resolve. Using Enrage, a 20-second buff to attack and speed, was a good move, the pros agree. Now he just has to wait until the cooldown is up. But unfortunately, Xiao Shen takes advantage of the debuff to defense when he uses the skill again. It's finally time for him to square off against Grimm, but the Sword Saint is not ready for the versatility of Grimm's weapon, or his ability to combine multiple class skills into unpredictable combos, not even using skills from the same class consecutively. But Xiao Shen predicts he'll use Shadow Cloak after collapsing Fist. To the crowd's amazement, he's right. Just when it looks like Xiao Shen can keep up, Grimm outsmarts him again, having left his mic on mute. Excellent Era's manager chews out the team for attending the arena battle after it's publicized by Heavenly Justice. He decides to get ahead of it, and the different teams all go on record saying that Lord Grimm is indeed Yi Chu. In an interview, Cui acts like Yi Chu's retirement was completely voluntary, and he doesn't understand why he's playing again. To combat the media, during their announcement of going pro, Heavenly Sword answers questions about Yi Chu's involvement by simply saying that he's their secret weapon. At the cafe, Guo has been working hard to renovate for Happy's team. She gets mad at Yi for allowing them to allude to his involvement in Heavenly Sword, but he says it's a smart move to keep his involvement vague. Back in Glory, Chalktown, a level 55 area, Lord Grimm and Guo lie in wait, hoping to scrap-pick the dead players as 3 of the top guilds take down a boss. When Grimm makes his entrance, pretending to help Excellent Dynasty by killing other guild members, he turns them against one another and sits back to watch the carnage. Right when he's about to grab the dropped items, an infamous scrap picker, Deception, swoops in and steals everything from right under their noses. Grimm and Guo chase him, trapping him in a small house to limit his movements, but his APM is just as high as Grimm's. Turning around to deceive Grimm and hide which skill he's using, Deception believes he's won until Grimm stops him from making his exit. He totally screen-peeked though. Guo tries to take out the annoying woman from Excellent Dynasty that she's dealt with before, only to be overtaken by the rest of her party. Upon checking her inventory, she's crushed to find her weapon missing. Deception is surrounded, but Grimm is right around the corner. He targets the launcher who killed Guo, stealing her orange weapon. The two begin to run as the rest of the players chase them. Suddenly, a group of players comes to their aid, and together, the 7 of them ace their pursuers, all 20. Believing their Heavenly Justice's alt accounts, they call Excellent Era's team captain. It turns out they have 5 account cards ready to go and decide to waste Grimm & Co. Excellent Era starts making quick work of them, and Sun Xian, Yi's replacement, uses the old pro's signature move, bragging that he's perfected it, trying to get under Yi's skin, but it doesn't faze him. His old team tries to egg him on, saying he's truly been replaced, but Yi calmly calls them out, using their real names, and asks if he can help them. They apologize, but they are taking him down today. Grimm's backup attacks Sun, who blocks them with ease, though he's just showing off. Yi is confident they'll win, since they outnumber them 7-5. When Sun attacks him head-on, he falls for their trap. Yi reminds him that Glory isn't a single-player game, calling him MVP to taunt him. Yi tells the party to retreat, and Sun follows. His team warns him that it's another trap, though his arrogance blinds him. Yi and his party kill 2 of them before Sun gets back. His teammates were right, but he still thinks he can take on all 7, refusing help. Yi tells him for the last time that he can't expect to play Glory with his mindset before he dies. Rumors circulate that Yi Chu was working with the infamous scrap picker Deception. He calls up Heavenly Sword's leader and proposes a way to make some extra money, since they all have an in-game bounty. He could sell Lord Grimm to buy 5 top-level accounts and then collect the bounty for a profit, but he's going to need some help. He enlists a studio he knows who collect bounties while filming. They sent Excellent Era 10 videos with a total of 1,500 kills, amounting to $150,000. They can't prove that they cheated, so they pay them and remove the bounties on Grimm and Heavenly Justice. There are some unhappy customers downstairs in the cafe. Excellent Era has lost yet another match. Their rank will drop if they lose again, threatening their position in the league. They might not make it to the next season. Someone shows up at the cafe to speak with Yi Chu. Guo recognizes him from somewhere. It's Excellent Era's boss. She listens as Yi is offered a position to coach at Excellent Era. He tries to convince Yi that the league isn't what it used to be, and he can't get by with skill alone. They need to make a show of things and make their sponsors happy. But Yi doesn't care. He just wants to win. He'll leave the league on his own terms this time. He offers to grant any request. He'll even transfer 1 autumn leaf. Instead, Yi asks for Dancing Rain, Mu Shang's account. Grimm and Guo spawn in a level 55 area and are immediately caught in an ambush. They seem like regular players, but there is obviously a commander in their midst. Grimm spots him. No way, it's Old Wei. Wei tells him to let him kill Grimm so he can collect that bounty. Hasn't he heard the news yet? He asks Guo if she's heard of Swaksar from Blue Rain and explains that he was the original user of that account, but retired early. She suspects Blue Brook might be behind it, but Grimm doesn't. He's probably just acting on his own, for fun, after learning Grimm's identity. It looks like Wei Chen has still got it, but Grimm keeps evading him, almost like he's stalling. He tells Wei to look behind him, but he refuses to fall for it. The system announces that a new player has completed the Heavenly Domain Challenge, 1 Inch Ash. He asks what team he's from, Tiny Herb, old Wei lies, telling him he's good friends with his captain and can get him on the roster, guessing he's Yi Bai. Grim laughs. He's way off. It's really Yi Fan. Despite their numbers, Wei's whole team wipes when Guo shows up. Wei runs towards a dungeon portal so that he doesn't drop any gear upon death. Yi Fan stops him, and Wei pleads for his life, but Grim finishes him off anyway, laughing as he picks up the silver weapon Wei made himself, Death Hand. Wei immediately messages Yi, demanding his weapon back, but Yi threatens to pawn it for gear, as a joke. It's a different staff from the one he used as Swaksar. Yi says he must be lonely. The reason he didn't stay as coach for Blue Rain is the same as his. They both want to be on the front lines. He tells Wei that he wants to go out with a bang, not be a sad old man with a silver weapon. He isn't quite done with the Pro League yet, and offers Wei a spot on the team. Guo is excited about the new addition to the team, but learns that you need your own venue, and since they're adding holographic projectors, they need to acquire the equipment to support it. But Yi isn't going to apply to the league. Every year, there are 2 open spots, and one goes to whoever wins the challenge, commonly referred to as the resurrection, since eliminated league teams are the only ones who ever win. They only need the entrance money and enough team members. Well, that and make history. No problem. There's some bad news though. They're out of money and don't have the materials they need. Everyone loses it when Yi logs in as Lord Grim again. He asks his spy in Blue Brook if they have any blue-white crystal, a mat dropped by Topaz Knight, but no dice. He asks for his guild warehouse system, since he's been helping Happy out already. Blue River just stomps away in anger. Grim announces in the chat that Happy is going after Topaz Knight in the Western Wilds, despite having numerous spies in the guild. They all overthink it when the guild's elite go to a different location. The plan works, and Happy cracks the Topaz Knight after wiping the other guild's lower-ranking members. Meeting with Blue River again, he gets their guild's warehouse system, but doesn't change the file name, almost exposing him as a spy. Wei tells him that Boss Laypole spawned in Poison Fang Swamp. All 8 guilds are already there. Wei's plan is to get Grim there to devise a plan. The guild leaders all convene to decide which guild can have the boss. And right as they choose a winner, Grim notices Wei is still in Blue Brook. The guilds start fighting each other, blaming Blue Brook, while Wei leads the boss to the members of Happy camping out nearby. They message Grim to make a deal and clear up the misunderstanding, agreeing to give him a list of materials if he takes responsibility. But Wei wants more, so they meet him and figure out he's the traitor, kicking him out. He and Grim discuss joining another one of the larger guilds and creating a team of spies. Finally, Yi has enough materials to upgrade his silver weapon, as if it wasn't powerful enough already. Then he asks Guo for an account card so he can do some reconnaissance. Yi goes undercover as a main tank, unrivaled super hottie. The president of Tyranny greets him after hearing about his abilities and asks him to help tank a high-level boss and to steal it from the other guilds waiting atop a cliff. Suddenly, a Spitfire, dazzling spring, jumps down and starts shooting at both Yi and the boss. Both start pulling off moves that only pros can. Even the other players start to realize it's actually the former captain of 100 Blossoms, Zhang Xiaolo. Yi goes down. Seeing a nearby cleric, he asks her, make that him, to cast Revive. Guo accuses him of going undercover to recruit Zhang in one of his cheap plays, but Yi swears it's a coincidence. He smack-talks Zhang for smurfing and gives his own identity up in the process. 100 Blossoms was always second to Excellent Era, never winning a championship. Having become tired of it, Zhang retired. Yi tells him he misses it, he'll never give up, and Zhang can always come back too. Yi ends up acing their entire team in one go. With the help of the cleric's continuous cures, he was able to absorb their attacks and reflect them back. A complete wipe. The Tyranny president figures the only one who could manage that is Yi Chu. Before confronting him, they ask him to join Tyrannical Ambition instead. Zhang messages Yi, asking what he's up to, and he offers him a spot on the team, but he declines, wanting to find his own path to becoming a champion. They both promise each other they'll be back, even if it's as rivals again. After his display against the former captain of 100 Blossoms, everyone is vying for unrivaled Super Hottie's attention. His looks aren't the only thing that's unrivaled. Tyranny's president approaches him again, asking him to tank Mage Modank. The boss aggroes anyone who steps on the bridge, so Zhang takes the lead, using his aerial skills to his advantage. The same cleric, Little Cold Hands, casts Holy Commanding Light just in time, saving Yi from going down. He and Zhang wrestle as they fall off the bridge. Yi messages Tyranny, informing them that was his exit. Have fun with the boss. Downriver, Zhang agrees with Yi on the cleric's merits. He wasn't there to recruit Zhang. He was scouting the cleric the whole time. The two part ways after Zhang tells him he owes it to his team to reach the championships. Guo speaks with Cold Hands, since Grimm's reputation is a bit tarnished at the moment, though Cold Hands had already deduced that it was Yi Chu, and was intrigued yet skeptical about entering the Pro League. Not only that, but he seems to have endless questions about the specific details of their team's current state and circumstances. He's definitely put a lot of thought into it already. Yi steps in and confirms that their team isn't quite ready to enter the challenge, and most of the details are uncertain at this point. But Cold Hands doesn't get cold feet. He's in. It's Excellent Era versus Void, a one-on-one battle between the team captains. Steamed Bun shows up at the cafe and catches the end of the match. Sun has no chance, losing yet again, causing Excellent Era to drop in the rankings. Wei walks through the door, and they all go upstairs to check out the new setup. It's really shaping up to be a real club. They even have a condo with 6 bedrooms for the team. He has some doubts about the team's capabilities, especially Steamed Bun, but Yi reassures him that he'll understand tomorrow when he sees them in action. The next day, it's time to begin training. Steamed Bun loses to Wei, though for a player who's been playing for 4 months, he's not bad at all. Tang goes all out on Wei, who surrenders. Yi really did find some diamonds in the rough. They still need a lot of training to win the challenge, but it's beginning to look like a real possibility. Excellent Era falls in rank yet again due to Sun's incapacity to play as a team. They hold a press conference to announce that Sun is stepping down for now due to previous injuries. Obviously, the team is falling apart under his command, leaving the club with no other choice than to bench him. Team Happy has been training hard and improving at an astonishing rate. Guo offers to buy dinner. On the way, they see Sun announce that even though Excellent Era is officially out for the season, they will come back stronger than ever and win the challenge along with their spot in the Pro League. As the higher-ups at Excellent Era discuss Yi Chu's alleged new team, Happy walks into the same restaurant where they're meeting. They leave after an awkward confrontation. Yi texts his old boss, wondering if they'll meet and face each other during the challenge. He isn't afraid of him though. But maybe he should be, since everyone in Glory is. Getting angry, he crushes his phone face, cracking the screen and threatening Yi. He better hope they don't face Excellent Era in the first round. He's got an ace up his sleeve. He recruited one of the best, Zhang Zhaolo. Thank you for sticking until the end. Subscribe for more videos like this.